Every video starts with an idea. Sometimes I'll sit down specifically to brainstorm, or I'll go on YouTube and scroll content for inspiration. Usually that's other Rocket League content, but not necessarily. I'll add everything to a Google Doc which includes a list of all the current ideas. After I've chosen a topic, I tend to look at what content already exists on that specific subject. This includes videos obviously, but I'll also look for discussions on Reddit, streams, or online articles. I may ask a question on my Discord server. Most of the content on my channel has the goal to help players improve, so by looking at other materials, I can ensure I'm not simply repeating what others have said and can give different advice, add my own tricks, or present it in a different manner. Using the research and ideas, I make a plan that outlines the subjects I want to discuss and bullet points important things to mention. It can often be helpful to have someone else help along the way or contribute to this. Sometimes it's taken weeks to develop, and I may be doing several of these simultaneously, making it more comprehensive whenever another idea comes to mind. Writing the script generally takes somewhere around 5 to 10 hours. A 10-minute video has about 2,000 words, however it can be surprisingly difficult to make those 10 minutes worth of viewers' time. When I made the channel, I wanted to avoid creating videos where I rambled on unnecessarily, so I spent a lot of time ensuring each script is concise and explains ideas in the most direct and easy to understand manner possible. Once I've completed a script, I do the initial voiceover recording using Streamlabs OBS. On this first recording, I don't read, practice, or try to memorize each paragraph. I simply dive straight into it. This helps me to identify which sections of the script sound unnatural or require revision. If there's a phrase that seems really difficult for me to say, I clearly need to alter it. Sometimes I realize I've spent 3 sentences saying what could be told in 1. I also try to ensure explanations are clear for the target viewer. A new player won't necessarily know certain terminology, mechanics, or ideas that a high-level player does, so I need to make sure it's appropriate for that video's audience. This is a constant back and forth process between voiceover recording and script editing. Sometimes I may do this over several days to see if I pick up anything new with a fresh mind. Once I've gone through the whole script, making changes as I go, I do another voiceover from the beginning. Funnily enough, the time of day actually matters here. If it's too late in the evening, I have a tendency to lower my voice and don't emphasize or vary my tone compared to mid or late afternoon. You may have noticed that my voiceover has improved since my first video.
Series of quick short guides on important Rocket League mechanics. I'll try and demonstrate, explain and teach a number of mechanics all in their own.
Some things that helped me were constantly trying to smile and continuously exaggerating movements in my body. I'll be making lots of hand gestures while recording. To remind me to do this, I have my webcam on in Streamlabs so that I can see my posture and whether or not I look like I'm having a good time. I watched a lot of videos on how to improve voiceovers, and at one point I tried doing them standing, but it didn't really seem to help. I record the entire video in one go. I make a lot of mistakes, but these will be cropped out while editing later on. After I've got my voiceover recording, I head into Adobe After Effects. I wouldn't necessarily say it's the best program for this style of video, as Adobe Premiere Pro is probably more appropriate. However, I've been using it since 2012. I've tried switching at various points in time, but it didn't seem worth it considering my knowledge of After Effects, and it gets the job done. The first thing I do is crop down the voiceover to make it one smooth flowing track. I get rid of all the failures, the deep breaths, and the coughs. Next, it's straight to Epidemic Sound to source the music. Sometimes I'll have tracks left over from a previous video, so I'll see if they're appropriate. Otherwise, I'll spend a while browsing. You may not notice, but one of my 8-minute videos may have up to 10 or more different songs. This was not something I did when I started. Originally, I'd simply put a track in the background, and when it was finished, I'd add another. Now I use tracks to help break the video up. A new song will often begin as I start a new topic, or I'll have a few seconds without any music at all to allow a mental reset or to change the tone of the video. After I've sourced at least 5 tracks, I'll add them into After Effects and roughly match them up with the voiceover. The reason I get the music before I have recorded any clips is that it can influence how I present certain ideas, and especially how a video begins. It often inspires me to create certain shots. It's worth noting that sometimes I'll even go back and edit the script at this stage and redo the voiceover if I think it will work better with the music I've selected. Now it's time to record the actual clips and footage that will be used for the video. When I was playing a lot myself, I'd tend to save replays for the very purpose of using them as video footage. However, now that I don't spend much time in-game, I source replays from boardchasing.com, sorting by rank to find appropriate examples and to save time, and spend several hours watching dozens if not 100 or more replays. I use Dollycam, a Bakkesmod plugin, to get the smooth cinematic shots you see on a regular basis. After that, it's time to compile everything. I usually work in a pretty linear fashion, starting with the intro and working my way to the end. That way, I can get a feel for the timeline of the video, the order viewers will see clips, and whether it makes sense or not. I'll add transitions, color correction, and adjust volumes, which is actually surprisingly hard. Even when I watch my videos now, it comes across differently depending if I watch it on my computer with a bass boosted headset, use speakers, or watch it on my phone. I try to ensure it works on all devices. I'll usually have Rocket League, Streamlabs, and After Effects open at all times, as I often want to change the clips I've recorded or find another example to slot in. The recording of clips and the editing are definitely the most time-consuming parts of the whole process. After the editing is complete, I'll render the video out in After Effects, and then I use another program called Format Factory to shrink the file size down, so the upload to YouTube only takes a few minutes instead of hours. The final step is the creation of the thumbnail. I mostly use Illustrator for this process, and will look at existing videos, Rocket League related or not, to see which ones I like. I'll try and take inspiration from thumbnails that do well and add my own twist to it. The thumbnail often goes through several versions before I'm at least happy to some degree. Alternatively, some of my video thumbnails have been paid for and done by other talented designers. And there we have it, the process from start to finish. Now be sure to subscribe to make it all worthwhile.